I want to talk about some social issues. You've got a lot of critics who say that you are wildly out of step with the American people. Let's talk abortion first. One of the groups opposing you says this. He wants a total abortion ban with no exceptions. He supported bans that would not only criminalize abortion, but ban IVF treatments and common forms of birth control, and that you voted against access to contraception. Where are you on these issues? Is that an accurate assessment of where you are? Because that's not in step with the American people.
No, Shannon, look, I'm pro-life. I've said very clearly, I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in the sanctity of every single human life. Listen, prior to the modern time, I mean, until recently, actually, almost all of our nation's leaders openly acknowledged that they were also Bible-believing Christians. I mean, this is not something that should cause great unrest, okay? It's just that Washington right now, what you're seeing, Washington and the Associated Press Corps are engaging with a leader who openly acknowledges faith and the foundational principles of our country.
Okay,
I think this is a healthy discussion, but it doesn't affect how we run Congress.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and GOP Speaker of the House Mike Johnson joined Fox News and Shannon Bream over the weekend to talk about birth control and abortion. Johnson conveniently forgot about his voting record when asked by Bream to defend his decision to vote against the Right to Contraception Act.
To be clear, though, have you voted against fertility treatments and access to contraception? Would you?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what they're talking about. I really don't remember any of those measures.
But do you oppose anything?
I am personally pro-life, yeah. No, of course not. No, that's something that's blessed a lot of families who have problems with fertility. Of course, that's a great thing. I would support that. But look, again, these are not issues that are on the front of the agenda, and we can come with our convictions and we can govern in an accountable, transparent manner for the American people, and that's what we're going to do.
Johnson, a far-right nut job, has blamed school shootings on abortion and opposes no-fault divorce. He was one of the 195 House Republicans who voted against codifying the right to birth control last July. Mike Johnson is a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist who wants to regulate a woman's body while destroying the separation of church and state. Johnson is a Trump loyalist.
Everyone comes to Congress with their deeply held convictions, but the process here is that you make law by consensus, and I've not brought forward any measure to address any of those issues. Right now, our priorities are funding the government, handling these massive national security priorities that we have in crises around the globe, and taking care of changing and reforming how Congress works. That's what we're going to do.
He doesn't believe in abortion and believes that women who travel out of state for reproductive health care should be imprisoned. His views on women's health care has been described as Neanderthal. Johnson is a Christian nationalist who takes a stand against abortion, divorce, gay marriage, and apparently even porn. He tries to present himself as a godly man doing the Lord's work, but in truth, he's working overtime to strip women's rights away. He's another do as I say, not as I do jackaloon. One of the creepiest stories making the rounds on social media was a recap of the statement Johnson made last year. Johnson claimed that he and his son monitored each other's porn intake. How deranged is that? He called his kid his accountability partner. Johnson is apparently a good Christian with a porn intake moderator. Sounds about right. It seems like every other day some Republican pastor is getting busted for inappropriate sexual contact with kids or being caught in a hotel with a prostitute. They put on this holy act while hiding their own depravity. Mike Johnson tried to allude to one of the many skeletons in his closet in his voting record. It became obvious that Johnson had no intention of explaining himself. When Bream brought out his vote, he deflected and said that he didn't remember voting against the bill. Is it any surprise that he would so conveniently forget? Of course not. Mike Johnson has no intention of explaining himself or his religious bias. He wants to make life more difficult for women, the LGBTQ community, and the poor. Mike Johnson is the furthest thing from being a Christian. He's a poser who hides behind the Bible. Unfortunately, there's many like him.
There's no closed door porn. What you're doing in your bedroom, what you're doing in private, is affecting my children. It's affecting my friends. It's affecting everybody.
Remember when we said that if they came for trans individuals and the LGBTQ community at large, that it wouldn't stop there? Republicans are endlessly fascinated by whatever it is that you are doing in the privacy of your own home, in the privacy of your bedroom. It's not just us, the gays. They're coming for everyone, although coming for one group should be enough for everyone to sort of do something about it. But they're also coming for you. Because didn't you know that you watching porn in your bedroom by yourself affects his children? Didn't you know that?
So we get our rights from God. Government doesn't give us our rights. Our Constitution says this very thing. We get our rights from God.
That's just not true. I think he's upset because Dusty Deavers would be a fantastic porn stage name, and he feels like he has missed an opportunity to use it as such. It's not too late, Dusty. You can still follow your dreams.
It is absolutely degrading and defiling, and it's domineering. It is controlling, and it's not as though it's free from a controlling higher power. That higher
principalities
power,
and powers.
That's exactly right. It's principalities, powers, and rulers of the air, and they are setting up and waging war against humanity. And what is good, right, and true is from God who created us. And so it is a power, it's a spiritual warfare. And these people are getting, anyone who gets caught up into pornography is caught up not just in a power of flesh and blood, but a power that they aren't able to control, that's degrading them and seeking to eradicate their use, their value, and true society.
I didn't know. Did you guys know that sex workers are setting up and waging war against humanity? Well, porn's been around for as long as humans have been around, so they are taking their good, sweet time ending humanity. You just know this guy's search history is an absolute devastation. Now, can the argument be made about the dangers of sex work, the issues where it intersects with human trafficking? Yes, absolutely. But those aren't the points that they're actually making. What they care about is controlling your morality and what they think it should be based on the Bible. They don't want you to have the freedom to control your sexuality, and they certainly don't want safety for sex workers in the industry either.
We already have so much data out there that shows it's really dangerous and scary to be a victim of human trafficking, to be a sex worker, right? You can be beat up, you can be sexually assaulted, you can be murdered, and things that make it more dangerous for the Johns also make it more dangerous for the sex workers, because they increase the likelihood that the John will just say, well, to make sure that I don't get caught, I'm just going to knock you unconscious, or I'm going to terrify you so that you know you're not going to cross me, or I'm going to kill you so that you can't speak. Do you have concerns about that?
Yeah, and I understand that. We're talking about traffic individuals that are been coerced, that they're coming. It's almost not a chosen profession. If we're going to use the word sex worker, to me, that somebody who's choosing a profession or that industry,
Right.
And with every industry comes
things,
occupational hazards.
Yeah.
Any industry, including irons, comes with occupation. The bills we just heard previous to this shows the occupational hazards there from being a judge.
Okay, first of all, yes, every industry has occupational hazards. If you work in construction, there are certain rules and laws in place to help protect you from the hazards of that job. Why is this job any different? And it is simply because you want to punish people partaking in it. Listen, no matter how you view the morality of pornography or sex work, it has always existed and it will always exist. That is just a fact. What we can control is whether or not we make it safe, whether or not we regulate things, whether or not we make it a better environment. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, this doesn't affect me very much, I don't partake in any of those things, whenever they attack something like this, it does not stop here. They will keep going until they can control every single facet of your life.